How's everyone today? Now the sun is shining. The surprising rain has passed. Felt almost like the rainy season for one day. We're remembering Ramachandra when Ram is searching for Sita, and then he's passing through the valleys, the mountains, various areas in search of her, and he receives advice that Sugriva, the king of the monkeys, or leader of the monkeys in a nearby area, will be able to help him find Sita. So he begins to walk towards the area he's told where Sugriva lives. On the way he meets Shabari, one old lady sadhu who was waiting for him for a long time. We heard about her recently. And after meeting her, he continues on his way. And from a long distance away, Sugriva and the other monkeys with him see Ram and Lakhan coming. And they're amazed. Who are these immaculate men? Their arms, their bows, their posture, his dark green complexion, his red eyes, his dreads, and a bun on top of his head, his quiver of arrows, the personification of virtue, ornamented with great strength, perseverance and compassion. He's thinking, who are these mighty persons? And Sugriva, he at that time was suffering. He was the son of the king of the monkey clan. However, he was the younger son. He had an elder brother. His elder brother's name was Bali. And Bali was very, very strong, very charismatic, and inclined to battle and domination and greatness and grandeur. And his strength was famous all over the world. Once there was a demon, I can't remember his name, who was a bull. He was an incredibly powerful demonic bull. And he loved to fight. But everyone he met, were so easy to defeat that he was getting frustrated and anxious. He wanted some real combat. He wanted to use his muscles. But no one was matched for him. So finally he went all through the land challenging everyone to battle. Almost everybody declined. Anyone who didn't, he easily defeated. Finally, he came all the way to the bank of the ocean. And he said, here is my worthy opponent, the ocean. And he challenges the ocean to a fight. But the ocean says, oh no, I could not fight with you. You're too strong. You should go to, I don't know if it was Kailash or another Himalayan mountain. You can fight with the mountain. He goes to the mountain. The mountain says, oh no, I couldn't fight with you. But I know someone who is a worthy foe. Who is that? Who in the land of Bharatavarsh can challenge me. And the mountain told him, there is the king, the prince of the monkey clan, Bali. He is incredibly strong, incredibly agile, very intelligent, and he also likes to fight. Go to him and you will get a good match. So I can't remember his name. So the bull comes to fight with Bali. And that time Bali is sitting in his palace. He has many, many monkey queens. And maybe they're eating bananas. Or whatever fruits they enjoy. And his fur has sandalwood paste on it. And he's enjoying as the king of monkeys. And then from his palace he hears these roars and mooing of this bull. Come and fight with me. And Bali is like, hey, I'm right in the middle of my early evening, dalliance. Who dares disrupt me? And he goes out in front, brings many of them. Who dares disrupt my activities in my palace? And this bull challenges him. And immediately, he likes to fight too, and they have a massive battle. Body slams, body twists, arm breaking, blood flying in the sky, crashing on the earth, clouds, thunderclaps, rainstorms, all kinds of things go on. Finally, Bali is victorious. And then he becomes renowned everywhere. He defeated the greatest, demon bull fighter. He's so great. And no doubt he had little ego about his prowess. And once, I can't remember also the name, but another person came to fight and battle him. Bali came out and challenged him. And Sugriva, his younger brother, assist there beside him, protect him if necessary. And then this other foe comes and they're starting to fight. And then there's one pit or cave in this area. And as they're fighting, then this foe becomes afraid and runs away down into the cave. And Sugriva says, okay, let him go. He's gone. He ran away in fear. Bali says, no, I will kill you. Sugriva says, no, not necessary. He's gone. Everyone knows you're the greatest. Your reputation is intact. Don't worry. And Bali says, no. Anybody who comes to me, they die. I'm going into that cave to finish off my foe. You wait at the mouth of this cave until I come out. And Bali disappears into the darkness. Hours pass and he doesn't come out. Darkness falls. He still hasn't come out. Sugriva is sitting at the edge of the cave. What to do? The order, sit here at the edge of this cave until I come out. He can't go in. He can't go away. What can he do? He's just sitting there. The whole night passes. Still doesn't come out. The next day passes. Still doesn't come out. A week passes. A month passes. 6 months pass. Sugriva is still sitting there. What can he do? He reveres his older brother like Guru, has to follow the order of his Guru, then he's sitting there. Months are passing, he cannot leave. Then finally, after many months, he hears some screaming and some yelling and some roaring. Very faint, very far away. And sometime later, some liquid starts to come out of the cave. He looks at the liquid, and it's a mixture of blood and foam. A bloody foam mixture is trickling, coming out of the cave, and it's like, and time continues to pass. Days, weeks, months. Finally it comes to the 1 year anniversary of him entering the cave. And he's thinking what to do. And lastly he was a prey to sadness, and he thought, my brother has somehow perished in this cave. I mean, how can he live there for 1 year? But I cannot cremate him, I cannot perform the proper worship and rites and everything for his passing. What a sad situation. So lastly he decides he'll do some special ceremony with some sages and some priests and other things, and he'll place a great boulder on top of the cave. So it is just closed. So he does all of this. And then all the kingdom is very sad. Their king has gone away. But his younger brother is very faithful. For 1 year he sat at the edge of the cave, following the order of his brother. And all the people have undoubted appreciation for Sugriva as his faithful younger brother of the king, and they happily requested, you please now guide us, you please take the throne, you please continue, we are very comfortable and happy to be under your leadership. And sadly, humbly, Sugriva accepts this duty and begins to govern the kingdom in a very modest manner. And the people are going on and they're sad to have lost their king, but otherwise, more or less, everything is fine. Then one day, they hear the roars of Bali back from the dead. And Bali comes roaring in. Where is everyone not waiting for me at the edge of the cave like I told them? He comes into the palace. He sees his brother sitting on the throne. And he says, you rascal! How dare you do this? You do not follow my order. Now you've usurped my position. You put a big boulder on top of the cave so I couldn't come out. This is your plot against me. And he comes to fight Sugriva. And everyone is shocked. They're saying, no, really. Sugriva is not bad. Don't think that about Sugriva. He is your friend. He is your well-wisher. He is your servant. He did everything for you with the utmost respect and affection. Don't think he's your enemy. Don't think he made some conspiracy against you. But Bali is mad as hell. And, challenges Sugriva. You think you can be the king? This is my kingdom. And he comes to fight him. And Sugriva is younger. His body is a little smaller, not quite as strong, and not such a fighting temperament. So, what can he do? He runs away. And he sends his messengers, to ask if Bali has calmed down, if he may be forgiven, like this. But Bali never forgives him. And all of, even Sugriva's wives, they're all there with Bali. Bali forbids them. You're all mine now. He takes Sugriva's wives. I forget the main wife, I forget her name. And he just tells the whole kingdom, this man, he's a villain, he's trying to commit tyranny, he can never return here again, if he sets foot in here I will kill him. And thereafter Sugriva, he has to live in exile. And he's always so sad at heart. His family, his son, his wife, everyone had so much affection for him. Everyone knew of his good nature and heart. But yet, due to the ego and anger of Bali, and now he lives in exile, separated from all of his friends, family and loved ones. And roaming about, he thinks, where can I live? And he finds one mountain. And the mountain is a very perfect mountain. Within the structure of the mountain are natural deposits of gold, silver, and other metals. Many jewels are found throughout the earth. Wonderful trees with all types of flowers, pristine lakes, everything. The most beautiful mountain area. And on the top of the mountain is a cave, and the cave's mouth faces northeast, and the west is highly protected and lumped, so one is protected from the wind, the rain and everything, but still receives the sun into the cave in the morning. And lastly, Sugriva takes shelter in that place. And moreover, there was, I can't remember why, but there was also, Bali had done some wrong with one Rishi, and that Rishi had cursed him that you cannot enter into this particular region. So this one little region, because of this curse of a Rishi, well, Sugriva was safe there. So he's trapped in exile in this one zone, and always sad and frustrated and confused and depressed and like this. And always afraid Bali will send someone to kill him. Bali cannot come himself, but he can send some, who knows. So he has but many of the counselors, ministers and others who assisted Sugriva when he assumed the throne, they all, to protect the honor of Sugriva, they also left with him. They said, Bali, it's not true. He didn't go against you. He's not your enemy. Really, he's your friend. If you remove him, then we also cannot stay, because we cannot be a party to lies. We cannot be a party to untruth. So there was a small group of ministers and others who joined Sugriva. And the chief minister, the main assistant of Sugriva, his name was? You don't know? Hanuman. So one day, Sugriva, Hanuman, the other monkeys, they're sitting atop their cave, thinking what to do. And from very far they see the two jewels of the dynasty of Ikshvaku walking with their bows towards the mountain. And immediately Sugriva is in paranoid mode. Could they be sent by Bali? Who are they? Where did they come from? They look very powerful. What are they doing here? Immediately his mind is running as to what sort of danger can come. And Hanuman, as the chief minister, he says, don't worry, first let us inquire. Maybe it's good, we don't know who they are. Why should we assume that they're bad? Let us go and find out who they are and what is their purpose. Then we can decide. So Sugriva says, can you do that? Hanuman says, yes I can. And from the top of the mountain, he one jump all the way to the base. And he's in the jungle, a little down the path. And all these monkeys, they have the power to shapeshift. So then Hanuman turns into, I don't remember what shape he takes. Like a Brahmin maybe, I don't remember. And then he comes gently walking down the path that he knows Ram and Lakshman are walking up. And he meets them and interviews them, they speak. And he inquires about their purpose. And they explain, oh, we are in search of the monkey king Sugriva. We require his aid. We have lost our very life, Sita Devi. We are in search of her and we require his help to find her. If you know him, please assist us and bring us to where he lives. We are eager to form an alliance with him. We are eager to take his help in finding Sita and potentially having to battle Ravana. And Hanuman is very smart. And he thinks, this is perfect. Right? Rama needs Sugriva's help. And Sugriva, he also needs Ram's help. Right? He has his own problems. They can form an alliance, they can help each other, and they'll both recover their beloved wives. So, Hanuman, he then shows his monkey form. And he says, I am the minister of Sugriva. I have come to interview you. Just hearing your news, I am ready to take you to him. Let us go. And then Ram, Lakshman, and he flies to the top of the mountain carrying Ram. They arrive at the top of the mountain. They meet Sugriva. Ram sadly explains his fate, that Sita has been stolen. He is in search of her. Sugriva sadly explains his fate. His brother has mistaken him for an enemy. His wife is now a captive of Bali. So Sugriva's wife is a captive of Bali. Sita is a captive of Ravana. And these two are sadly meeting atop this desolate mountain, searching for a solution. So they form a pact over the fire, like a formal Vedic pact. As they have a fire sacrifice and things at the time of marriage, they also have a sacrifice and things that can be formed to form a formal alliance and a friendship. So this is formed. And Bali is hopeful and thinking, and Hanuman is praising Ram so much. Sugriva, you've already attained the throne. Just by performing this sacrifice, accepting an alliance with Ram, your seat upon the throne is guaranteed. You are fully successful already. And Sugriva is very hopeful, but still he has little doubt in his mind. He sees Ram, but he knows how strong is Bali. He has seen Bali defeat this bull demon and so many. He knows fighting Bali is no small matter. So in a very polite, careful way, after their friendship is formed, he, also explains to Ram the power of his adversary Bali. And gradually Ram catches his drift. Bali wants to see whether Ram is really powerful enough to kill Bali or not. And Ram says, aha, you want to see my ability, don't you? I understood. And Bali, when it's sort of clear, then he says, yes. And then Bali looks, and there were 7 massive trees on the tree line of this mountain. And he's looking at the trees and he's thinking. And Ram, among all aspects of warfare that he is expert in, right, perhaps his favorite or the most prominent aspect, right, is his archery. Right? Dhanurved is very prominent in the Vedic history. And Ram had promised Sugriva. He said, for me, killing Bali is a very small thing. He has his quiver of arrows. This quiver is surcharged with mantras, whereby it never runs out of arrows. The mantra is there, and by chanting the mantra, arrows are coming forever. By more mantra, more arrows. Unlimited. And different types of arrows have different, on the back they have feathers or things to control their movement in flight. Right? Some have the tips of herons' feathers, this rich blue. Others have plates of gold, plates of silver, plates of platinum. Others are sharpened and molded in various ways. Some have slight bends and they appear like snakes with poisonous teeth at the tip. And Ram pulls out one of those. Looks like an angry snake just ready to bite. And he says, one of these is all that is required. What you're asking of me, it's a matter of a split second. One is all I need. And Bali, he says, well, be it so, but let me see first. So then he looks, and there's these 7 massive trees. And he says, if you can shoot your arrow through all 7 of these trees and knock them down, I'll believe that you can defeat Bali. Almost before the words had come out of his lips are still, like if you slow-mo, his lips are still closing on saying that statement. Right? Ram has drawn his bow and there's a sound like a thunderclap. Right, but Ram, he didn't, do anything like that. He just sat down. But he's virtue personified. His arrows are none different than the arrows of death himself. Right? Death is not proud. Right? Usually, you become proud when you want to be the greatest and you know that you're actually not. Or that you may not remain so. But when your position is irrevocable and invincible, then you're cool. But seeing this Bali, he's like jumping like he's very happy, right? Sugriva, sorry. Yes. Excuse me, Sugriva. Now it's on. Then Ram look under there. Bali and his pack of monkeys come. And Bali shows up at the edge of Sugriva shows up at the edge of Bali's kingdom. And says, hey, you coward! Why are you sitting and enjoying with my wife in your room? he knows, right? As soon as anybody, Bali's going to immediately come out to fight. Right? Bali's hot-headed. And Sugriva, he's like confident Ram is there, backing him up. But he also knows he's not as strong as his brother, he's not as tall as his brother, and it's gonna hurt. Right? So Bali comes out, right? And immediately they start to fight. And then punches. Bali heavily body slams him on the ground. Sugriva's stunned. But he gets up and grabs a tree. Crack! He cracks Bali with the tree. And Bali's like, not out here. And as Bali's like coming for the second attack, Sugriva's like thinking, okay, now Ram's gonna get him. Right? But immediately Bali, and then again, start fighting, ripping, hair is, blood is, oh, yeah. Rumbling, tumbling. And finally, Bali, Sugriva is squirming to get away. And Bali sees Sugriva's afraid. Bali sees Sugriva's trying to get away. And he lets him go. And he says, what are you thinking? You know you can never defeat me. Don't waste my time. Go back and hide in your little cave. And with, some of his blood, some of Sugriva's blood on his fur, he struts back into his thing. Calls Sugriva's wife, like, come over here. And then the other monkeys and everybody, they go back to the mountain. And Sugriva's bloody, he's, And he turns to Ram and he says, Ram, what happened? I thought you were, what are you, now I'm humiliated. And I'm in pain. And Ram, he said, you know how deadly my arrows are. And you were rumbling, wrestling, back and forth with Bali. And you guys are brothers, and you're monkeys. You kind of look a little alike to me. More or less, he said, And I couldn't be sure that in the course of firing my arrow, that I would hit you and not him. So, therefore I withheld my arrow. And after that you ran away. What could I do? And Sugriva, he says, okay, well, fair enough. But what are we going to do now? And Rami says, well, all I need is to be able to distinguish you from him. So Hanuman comes with some special cloth or wrapper or chadar or something, and Sugriva wears it around his neck, some garland cloth thing, so that Ram will see who is who. And Sugriva's still a little bloody, still a little weak, little bones creaking. Alright, let's get this over with. Let's go again. So again he comes to the edge of Bali's kingdom. Again he taunts him. And this time Bali is like, why is he wasting my time? Right? But Bali's wife, she was very smart. Not Sugriva's really Bali's wife. Her name was Tara. And she thought, wait, don't go. And he said, why not? I cannot tolerate anyone criticizing me outside of my kingdom like this. And Tara says, just wait, hear me. Half an hour ago, 3 hours ago, whatever, Bali just came here, Sugriva just came here, and easily you defeated him. Where is is he getting this courage to come right back and fight again? It's got to be a trick. There's no other reason he would come back. He knows you could kill him immediately right now. He must have some trick plan. Don't go. And Bali says, I have never once not taken a challenge that has come to me in my doorstep. And Tara, she says, I have heard that the great Raghava has been seen in these mountains. He is more powerful than Ravan himself. He is a man, but more powerful than a god. I believe he is there to protect Sugriva. If you go there, you will die at the hands of Ramachandra. And Bali is looking at his wife like, simultaneously like, whoa, that's some deep analysis. But also, you don't think I can defeat anyone? His ego's a little crushed at the same time, right? His wife is saying, like, I think you're not the best, But Bali says, nonsense. Ram, this Raghavendra of Ayodhya, a mere mortal, two mere mortals, they're adversaries of me. I have I forget the bull demon's name. I have defeated him. And I cannot match with two young princes. And what kind of princes are they anyway? They're born in a royal family, but like cowards, they now wear tree bark and dread their hair and wander around eating berries. What kind of guys are these, man? Two scared little princes eating berries in the woods. They're some match for me. But Tara's, she knows she cannot stop him. But she says, my best advice to you is not to go. It may result in your death. But Bali had too much ego. Bali had too much ego. And he went outside to fight again. And again, Sugriva was there. And again, Bali, and they start to fight. And in the course of fighting, Bali leads, he knows where Ramachandra is hiding. He leads Bali between him and Ramachandra. So Bali's back is to Ram, cannot see him. And, there's a direct, And in the course of fighting, Ram sees everything, pulls out his deadly poison snake arrow, and with, cold, sharp precision, fires that arrow through the core of Bali's heart. And he's coming at you and struck straight through the heart by this poisonous snake arrow and falls on the ground. Gradually all the assistants of Sugriva assemble. Ram and Lakan come by. And Bali is there, dying, and not dead yet. There's many speeches in the Ramayana of people dying with arrows in their body, saying their last words. This is like, things usually get good at that moment. And Bali, he starts to chastise Ram.
Bali.
He says, You shot me in the back when I was fighting someone else. That's so low. That's the behavior of a coward. How could you do that? You're a prince, you're an emblem of virtue, and you break all the codes of a warrior to shoot me in the back when I'm fighting someone else, when I've never done anything against you? What is this? And Ram, cool, sober, deep. And he says, do not think that I am the cause of your death. You are the cause of your own death. Blind to the affection, virtue, and honor that your brother has shown you. You have exiled him, humiliated him, and committed adultery with his wife. Completely unprovoked, at the discouragement of everyone in your kingdom. You are a tyrant and an enemy of Dharma. And now, you have received the result of behaving this way. And seeing this situation, Sugriva is sad. For a long time, Sugriva, he's thinking, I must defeat my brother, I must rescue my wife, I must get back my honor. But seeing his brother dying, he's struck with remorse. And soon after, all the people start pouring out of the kingdom, out of the palace. And Tara, his wife, Bali's wife, comes, sees Ram, sees Sugriva, sees Bali, sees the arrow, immediately understands everything. And she cries so much. And lastly, Ram declares what will happen. So Sugriva will be made king. And the son of Bali, his name was Angada. Angada, you will be made the heir apparent. It means after Sugriva, you will become the king. Bali is the eldest, he has the right to be king. And his son Angada has the right to be king. And until Angada is mature, Sugriva may reign. And Sugriva's wives will be, returned and properly treated. And by his prowess, right, Tara, Angada, Sugriva, all of the people, they accept with reverence the proclamation of Ramachandra. And then Ram, he says, to Sugriva, you go, return, sit on the throne, take care of the kingdom. Now there will be so many necessities of management and governance. Please take to your duties. And when you have carried things out and things are arranged, then, we can meet again. Let me know when you're ready. Ram doesn't even say, right, and then you'll help me get my wife back. He doesn't even say that. He just says, no, as you have required, I have assisted you. Now you do what is necessary. When you're ready, I'm here. And just at that time, the rainy season began. This July time when the rains come. This took place at that time of year. And so Ram, he had seen that cave, that mountain where Sugriva was living with Hanuman. And he said to Lakshman, let us go and camp in that cave for the rainy season. We will not be able to search for Sita during the rain. Cannot cross the roads, the rivers flood, everything is in hiding. We will not have it, we will not be fruitful to search at this time. So Ram and Lakshman soberly hike up to the cave and camp there. And each day they're on the top of the mountain, intense wind and clouds and thunder and strong presence of the rain. And that seeing all of the rain and the wind and the electricity feeling brought about by the storms, Ram is overwhelmed with sadness, thinking of Sita. As rain fell from the skies, tears fell from his eyes, thinking of Sita having been taken away, wondering where could she be, what sort of suffering she was going through. And Lakshman from time to time tried to comfort him, saying, don't worry, when the rain passes, we will search, we will find her. But that season passed in great sorrow, alone on the mountaintop, unable to sleep, hardly eating, thinking of Sita. And thinking, how can I fulfill my duty? Where can I find her? What do I need to do? Faced with such uncertainty, he passed that time. Eventually, the season changed. The rain stopped. The sun came out. The time to begin searching arrived. But immediately, there was no sign of Sugriva. And Ram was a little bit anxious. But Lakshman, he says, don't doubt. Soon Sugriva will come. Soon he will come to assist you. He will fulfill his part of the alliance and the pact. And meanwhile, in the palace, Sugriva had become busy with so many things. So much management, so many problems, so many necessities. And not only that, so many wives, so many berries, so many fruits, so many bedsteads, so many things. And he's enjoying, he's telling his ministers to look after this, look after that. And time is passing very quickly, unbeknownst to him. But once the rains are gone, Hanuman, thinking of Ram. And Hanuman, he comes very respectfully to Sugriva. And he says, Sugriva, you are our king, you are our leader. We are all submissive to you. But it is my duty, I must remind you to do your duty. You have made your pact to Ramachandra. You have agreed to assist Ramachandra to find Sita as far as you are able. Ramachandra has perfectly fulfilled everything you have asked of him. And even now that it is time for you to fulfill your duty to him, he is not coming and insisting and asking and prompting. He is waiting for you out of your own conviction in the Dharma to come forward. This is why you do not see Ramachandra's presence in your court today. Sugriva, do not forget your duty. And immediately Sugriva, he says, Hanuman, you are right. And then he declares an order. Call my entire army, the full army of all the monkeys, they must come. And we will search for Sita. Until we find her, we will not return. And then they go south. Hare Krishna.